how. Number 9. Number 9. Nope. No. Oops. Shaking the table. Where are my glasses? They're on your face. Definitely not ready for prime time. Hey everybody, welcome back to Books Yada Yada. I'm Dina and thank you so much for watching my channel. So today, I know I said in the last video that I was going to be doing a music tag. I lied. I was actually tagged for the first time. I feel so special. So I was tagged by Berna's Bookish Adventures, and I will post her channel down below. So I really felt like, you know, so special again, and I wanted to do this DNF tag first. So I'm excited to do it because I watched hers, and then I watched a couple of other people that she tagged do it, and it looks like so much fun. So let's get started. Do you DNF? Yes, I do. Number 2, if you DNF a book, does it count towards books read for the month? Well, no, it depends. If I read, say, 100 pages of the book and I DNF it, yeah, I'm going to count it because that's my time, right? And technically, I did read at least 100 pages of the book, so I did read it. So I do count it towards books read for the month if it was a substantial chunk of the book, okay? If I read like 20 pages and just couldn't get into it and DNF it, then no, I won't count it. I won't review it or rate it or anything like that. And let me give you a piece of advice that I got from a real sassy older lady that I love, who runs one of my favorite used bookstores locally. She's probably in her late 70s, early 80s, and she told me years ago, because I remember walking up to her when I was shopping in the store, and she was reading this book, and I'm like, it was a book that I had on my TBR way back when, and I asked her, I'm like, oh, how's that book? She's like, honey, don't even go there. She goes, what I do is I read the first 100 pages, and if I can't get into it, it's gone. Wow, what sage wisdom, right? So I didn't do that for the longest time. I would commit to a book, and I would read it to the end, and I would never DNF, right? But when she told me that, I said, this is a woman who's lived a life, you know, and she's confident, and she knows what she wants, and I'm going to follow her lead. So ever since then, that was probably like 6 or 7 years ago, ever since then, I started doing that, where I just read the first 100 pages, and I'll hang in there for that duration, and if it doesn't catch me, then I'm DNFing it. So thank you, older lady. And I never can remember what her name is. Isn't that awful? I'm in there all the time. Anyway, number 3, is there a difference between DNF and just putting it down for a bit? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, there's a difference, because if you DNF a book, you're not finishing. You did not finish, right? And if you just put it down for a little while, like I talked about in my ADHD video, what I do sometimes with really hefty books is, if they're, you know, really, really big, long books, I'll take a break. So I will cut them in half, so to speak, not literally, but I'll cut them in half, and I'll take a break from them for like a few days or a week or whatever, and then, you know, go back to it. So I always will, you know, pick it up. But I those big hefty books, because I have ADHD, I have to put down for a while, and it is just for a bit. So if it's a book that I read, you know, a couple hundred pages out of, and I just, you know, put it down for a bit and I never go back to it, then yeah, I guess that's a DNF, right? So there is a little distinction there. It just depends on the reader, depends on what you choose to do. Number 4, what popular book have you DNF'd? Oh God, I should have thought about this one. I should have read these questions, but I usually go off the cuff all the time, right? I don't prepare that much. You guys already know that. So what popular book have you DNF'd? Oh, I know. The Last Time I Lied? I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I think it's called The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. It has something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, that was a popular book that everybody seems to really love, but I hated it. And I DNF'd it. I didn't technically DNF it. I skimmed it a lot till I got to the end. So technically, I guess I didn't DNF the book because I did my power reading, you know, where I put my finger on the middle of the page and I just zipped through. So technically, I didn't DNF it, but I didn't like it. Number 5, what book do you wish you had DNF'd? Ooh, that's going to take me a second. All right, just talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so I found it. I had to go back in the other room. This one, Dark Turns by Kate Callahan. I really wish I had DNF'd this book. I loved her other books. I think this was her first book. I think this was her debut. And no, this takes place in Connecticut, which is my home state. It's where I live. And I love anything that takes place in Connecticut or New England. But it really didn't talk about Connecticut that much. And I mean, there's really not that much to say about Connecticut. Number 6, do you ever reattempt to read a DNF? Has this ever been successful for you? No. Oh my God. Most of you already know my personality, I think, at this point, and know that I am very, very hyperactive and have a very short attention span. I would never go back and try to read this again. Why? Why would I waste my time, right? And if this question is referring to maybe a book that like you read when you were, you know, younger, right? I'm almost 50, so it's like if I go back to something I read in high school that I hated, that we had to read, that was mandatory reading, right? No, because I kind of like have always been that kind of person that I always know. I always know myself. I've always known myself. I've always been very firm in what I believe. And if I didn't like it when I was 16, I'm not going to like it now because I remember. You know what I mean? Just no. And the second part of that question is, has this ever been successful for you? So again, no, because I've never gone back and reread a book that I have DNF'd or like, you know, got the Cliff Notes to. Okay? So no. Whoever did this tag, and I'm going to have to find out because these are really good questions. Really good questions. Number 7, what do you do with the books you DNF? Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so what I usually do with the books that I DNF is I will unhaul them because I don't like stuff, right? So I will bring them to my little lady, the used bookstore, if she'll take them, because she's kind of persnickety. She's sassy. Oh, I love her. Or I will take it to another great used bookstore that we have in Niantic, Connecticut, if you're ever in the area. If for book lovers, it's an amazing place. It's called the Book Barn. There's actually 3 separate locations throughout Niantic, which is part of the coastline, the Connecticut shoreline. So there's 3 different stores that are part of the Book Barn, and they're all within like not even like maybe a half a mile of each other. It's a really cool place to go. I will link the website down below. Check it out. But anyway, so that's usually my favorite spot. I'll go there because it's pretty close and unhaul a bunch of books. If they take them, sometimes they look at stuff. They're good. They'll like look at stuff and be like, nope. So you get that one back, right? So I usually do that, and then if the Book Barn or Books Etc., which is my sassy lady, they don't take the books, then I will bring them to Goodwill. Because I'm not going to give anybody books that I DNF'd, right? That would be wrong. I'm not going to yard sale books that I have DNF'd because I have a conscience. So I don't want to, you know, inflict that pain on someone else, like knowingly. Like, yeah, I'll take your dollar for this book that really sucked. I couldn't do that to somebody. So I'll let Goodwill or the Book Barn or Books, etc., take care of that for me. Number 8, do you choose more or less risky titles because of your stance on DNF? That's a great question. I always kind of tend to be a little risky when it comes to books. I think that that does influence what I choose to read. Because my stance on DNFing is, I'm comfortable with it now where I wasn't before. Yeah, because I'm kind of a risk taker. I'm a risk taker when it comes to book. Like I said before, I usually go with the books that are, you know, get the low ratings. I've always been like pleasantly surprised by that. So why not, right? Number 9, tag 5 booktube buddies or however many people you want. Again, I don't really tag people because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to put pressure on anybody. And I don't know if anybody's, you know, I don't have a lot of subscribers, guys. So it's like, I don't know how many people have done this tag already because I didn't go through and look. But I am going to tag a couple that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm going to tag Lady Jane. Lady Jane Reads. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys, because I can never remember, and I don't have anything in front of me where I can reference things to because I use my phone to record, right? So yeah, Lady Jane Reads. I love her channel. I'm going to link it below. She's so great. Max Reads, because I just love him. He is a great British booktuber, and we've exchanged quite a few comments here and there, and I love his channel, and I love the way he reviews books and stuff, so I'm going to tag him. Those are the 2 I'm going to tag off the top of my head. So I hope you don't mind being tagged, guys. Lady Jane and Max. You don't have to do it. I'm not forcing you. The booktube boogeyman's going to come and get you if you don't do the tag. All right, so that's it for today. This was a lot of fun. If you're out there and you know, what do you think of DNFing? You know, what's your stance on DNFing? Let me know. Comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about whether or not you DNF books. So let me know, and I will see you guys the next time.